Candace Owens, Change My Mind episode. Okay. You love changing people's mind. Well, allow me to assist you in changing your mind. This is Candace Owens, and I'm reporting from Stephen Avery. I am having a live one-on-one. I'm talking to Stephen Avery. Stephen, how you doing? I'd do better if I was out of here. Candace Owens asked Stephen Avery 2 questions. That's it. Steve, who brought you your mail on the 31st of October 2005? My mother, Deloris Avery, Mama Avery, brought me my mail. When did she bring you your mail? Before Brendan and Blane got off the bus? Or did she give you your mail after Blane and Brendan got off the bus? Before they got off the bus, Brendan, had he opened up Stephen's mailbox, it would be empty. There's no mail to deliver. If after Blane got off the bus, Mama Avery's over there while Stephen's raping Teresa. Mama Avery doesn't call the cops. She's delivering the mail. And if she's delivering the mail, Brendan didn't get the mail out because Mama Avery got the mail. Either way, Brendan didn't get the mail. Candace Owens, I'm with Brendan. Brendan, did you get the mail and take it up to Stephen on the 31st of October 2005? No. Why did you say so? Because I'm not allowed to get the mail. My grandmother gets the mail, and they would know that I was lying and tell them what they want to hear. Destroying my testimony. If they just wanted me to tell them what they wanted to hear, sure, I'll go with it, fine. However crazy you want to make it. But the fact remains. I am Candace Owens. I'm talking to Barb Patty. Barb, did Brendan tell you that he got the mail and gave it to Stephen? No. Is Brendan allowed to get the mail? No. Who delivers your mail when you're at work? Remember, she had to deliver Mom Avery, Deloris Avery, got both Janda, Dassey, and Stephen mail. And she took all the mail up that road. And she put the mail in the Janda Dassey box and then went over and gave it to Stephen. No way in hell did Brendan deliver the mail. Chuck, yeah, does Brendan usually deliver your mail? No, Deloris Avery, my mother, delivers my mail. Earl, yeah, does Brendan deliver your mail? Huh? Okay. Why doesn't Brendan deliver the mail every day? It's Brendan's job to deliver the mail. Or Blane. Huh? Why this day? No. The whole entire story about Brendan being manipulated and involved in all this other shit does not hold out because you can't get him there. Blaine does not hear Teresa screaming. Grandma, Deloris Avery does not hear Teresa screaming. Those two people don't hear Teresa screaming, but only Brendan does. Brendan has a special hearing problem. He's hearing people screaming that's not screaming. You know? Blaine, yeah. When you got off the bus, did Brendan get Stephen's mail? And your guys' mail too? No. You don't have Brendan involved. You can't get Brendan from the bus into Stephen Avery's bedroom. Other than Brendan. Stephen says he wasn't there. The evidence points out nobody was screaming when Blaine got off the bus and walked home. He heard nothing. And he was side by side with, and they're walking together and they went through the door together. He reports going home. But they didn't like that. So he reports going over there. It's screwed. There's no way, there's no compelling evidence whatsoever in any making a murder. There's no compelling evidence in convicting a murder. I already know that because you can't get Brendan Dassey from the school bus to Stephen Avery's bedroom. Other than Brendan. Well, Brendan said that Stephen shot Teresa in the head 10 times in the garage, and the garage is pretty much no crime scene whatsoever. You mean you found blood and it was illuminated? You shot somebody just days ago, you've got quarts of the shit, and you can't get a DNA match? Listen to what you're saying. Kratz is so full of shit. He said, well, no, there was no blood, no hair, no evidence in the bedroom. But she wasn't killed in the bedroom. See? Candace. Kratz even says he wasn't killed in the bed. She wasn't killed in the bedroom. Now it's in the garage, but she's shot 10 times in the garage. Brendan Dassey put the task of finding 10 22 rounds, going through with DNA and everything all over it, Teresa Marie Halbach's brains, and blood all over the Teresa Marie Halbach, specifically DNA, all over the fucking place. You can get DNA off of a cigarette. You can get DNA off of holding a straw. You can get DNA, but you've got gallons of blood on a floor, fresh, that lit up with aluminol, but couldn't get a DNA match on it. Candace, that's all you got. Candace does not have a crime scene, no matter what she says, does not have a crime scene. In the bedroom, Kratz said so himself. Ben Kratz said, you got fresh Teresa Marie Halbach blood all over the fucking place. Skull, skin, hair, brain matter, liver, through the heart, head, whatever. Fresh days ago, and you can't get a DNA match off of it. But you can get DNA off of sweat on a hood latch, but you can't get a trace of DNA on that blood in the garage that isn't there. No blood in the garage, no blood in the trailer. We got over this and over this. It never fucking changes. Don't bring me any. You can't get Brendan Dassey in the bedroom because you got an airtight fucking alibi. And that alibi is, I'm not supposed to take the mail home. The mail wasn't there because Deloris got to it first. Deloris got to it means I didn't get to it. Solid fucking alibi. Solid alibi. Okay? And yet here we are. He's convicted. How the fuck does that happen, Candace? Get Brendan. Logically, I want an eyewitness other than Brendan to tell me that Brendan got the mail out of the mailbox. None. I want an independent eyewitness to tell me that Brendan heard Teresa screaming. Would be Blaine. If Deloris delivered the mail after Teresa arrived, she would have heard her screaming. Didn't hear any screaming. If Brendan's hearing screaming, then why didn't Bobby, when he left, hear screaming? Bobby didn't hear screaming. Only Brendan hears the screaming of a woman, but nobody else around him hears it. Nobody else. Just Brendan. Okay? Brendan's got no reason to deliver the mail. Brendan doesn't deliver the mail. It's pretty simple as that. You can't really screw that up. Right? You can't screw that up. So, going on to other things, we know we got different rapports. That's a given. There's the evidence. Follow the evidence. You follow the evidence. There it is. You can't fuck it up. Teresa's not dead. Teresa cannot be dead. You haven't got a trace of Teresa anywhere. Where's Teresa? You don't have a body. You don't have a crime scene, and you don't have a body. Those two things are kind of important in a murder investigation. You know what I'm saying? Where's the body? No body, no crime. The bones. No. They're deer bones. Those are deer bones. They're deer bones. You can't switcheroo vehicles around, manipulate some kid into sitting there and telling you an airtight, solid alibi. Grandma got the mail. Prove Grandma didn't get the mail. Only Brendan hears things. Only Brendan gets the mail. Only this fucking day. You're thinking people are nuts. You can't figure this out. No. Can't figure this shit out. Teresa's still alive. Teresa has to be alive. If Teresa were dead, there'd be Teresa. They would dump her body out there for Bear to be munching on. Okay? That's what they would do. You would have a body. You don't have a body. You have a faked death. Why is Mike Halbach giving Jay Breyer information as to what she was last wearing on the second, so that it can be printed up on the second, and then say Breyer called him and offered to make them up. They were already made up the next day. But that's what Mike Halbach testified to. Mike Halbach testified that he got a call from Jim Breyer on the 3rd after they reported Teresa missing. No. The flyers are made up on the 2nd before the 3rd. We got Coburn calling in the plates on the 3rd. We got a vehicle that is supposedly it's over at Bondi's, which is at Coburn made the call after somebody reported a disabled vehicle. So Coburn goes over there, there's this vehicle. He calls in the license plate, it's Teresa's, and the Lavina goes over there and impounds it. Puts it in the Cleveland Auto Salvage. What's so fucking hard about that? We know $20.05, $100. Coburn made the call in relationship to that. So, who's got this vehicle? Teresa's vehicle. Cleveland Auto. Bondi. That's how they did it. Coburn waited until there's a disabled vehicle, and the code is, from other disabled vehicles, the code is, I blew out my tire, and I blew out my spare, and I'm putting the hazards on. 1, 2, 3. I'm Teresa's vehicle, and I am here. That way, and prearranged location, by the way. And that way, Coburn can show up and run the license plate. Runs the license plate, comes back Teresa, dark green, right? Oh, Toyota RAV4, yeah, 99 Toyota. He's looking at it, and they tow it in to Cleveland Auto Salvage and take the plate off. There it is. There it is. How can Teresa be dead when the dark green RAV4 WB2 News, Action 2 News is sitting at Cleveland Auto Salvage? It's logged in the Cleveland Auto Salvage. There's Teresa's name. There's kidnapping written on it. Okay, so here's this person that calls in, right? Calls in, my vehicle's disabled, I'd like to keep it overnight. How does that turn into a kidnapping with that vehicle? How does that vehicle involve itself in the kidnapping, mind you, kidnapping of Teresa Marie Halbach? Not murder, kidnapping. Okay? She was kidnapped by her brother. All right. Could be kidnapped by her brother. Working together hand in hand. It was a kidnapping, but whatever it is, it's not murder. So Manitowoc County Sheriff Department does not have Stephen Avery committing a murder in the county of Manitowoc. Their report says kidnap. You got problems, major problems with this. You can't, with a straight face, tell me that Brendan Dassey involved himself in this actually quite impossible scenario. It's pretty much physically impossible. Now, when you talk about evidence and all this other evidence, overwhelming evidence, you've got no overwhelming evidence. You've got no overwhelming evidence. Period. No way. You're gonna stick with Teresa's dead. You're gonna stick with Stephen did it. You're gonna stick with Brendan helped him. And the blue RAV4 that Pam and Nicole found is Teresa's. Right, Daily Wire? You're going to go with that route? And Teresa's dead. What makes you different now? You're a part of that group. You're a part of that group. Misinformation, disinformation. Yeah, if you stick with that story, throw you over there in the junk heap. Ain't worth shit. You're lying, straight up manipulating. That ain't the truth. It's propaganda bullshit. And that's all it ends up being. Convicting a murderer. Fuck you. It's lies. All lies. But go ahead, prop it all up and everything like that. But history will come back. You don't want to be caught in this, you know that, right? You don't want to be caught. And you're busted. You're busted already. You can't logically, with any degree, believe that to be true. So, why don't the Daily Wire take it Manitowoc County Sheriff's word for it, and Teresa's not dead, she's been kidnapped. And why don't you run that? See where it takes you. Can you do that? Can you actually twist your brain around and be humble enough to admit that you're wrong and explore the possibility that nobody killed her? Okay? And the search for missing Teresa Rehobock is back on.